Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Growing up, I loved Star Wars, especially the toys. They allowed me to use my imagination to become a part of the story, and although I have so much love for the action figures themselves, when I was able to pair them with the playsets and build the Star Wars universe in my own bedroom, those were truly happy memories. And in honor of those memories, here's my list of the top 10 must-have Star Wars playsets from the vintage era. Number 10, Hoth Turret and Probot. Released in 1981, this playset, although small, was loaded with potential and accessories. Mounted on the snow-white plastic base was a large rotating turret like the ones that defended the Hoth Rebel base from the Empire's AT-AT assault. What made this piece special was the unique action figure of the Imperial probe droid that was included. The head of the Probot rotated around, his 8 mechanical legs swung and dangled freely, and he had his own mount that would eject him as you pretended to be Han Solo and Chewbacca taking it out. Number 9, Jabba the Hutt with Salacious Crumb. Released in 1983, this set was memorable for a few reasons. The first and best reason, Jabba. One could not simply buy a Jabba the Hutt action figure, nor would you want to with this set available. The detail on Jabba is exquisite for a figure mold, right down to his red lizard eyes. Fans also got everyone's favorite sycophant, Salacious Crumb. This playset allowed us to recreate all of our favorite scenes from the opening act of Return of the Jedi. From the capture of Princess Leia to the arrival of Luke, Jabba offered us playability options aplenty. Number 8, Dagobah Action Playset. A solid base with a foam swamp, cargo boxes, Yoda's hut, and levers to work the moving parts. This set was released in 1981. You could animate the Force by levitating the boxes, have R2 sink into the swamp, and recreate Luke's test in the cave. This playset was a faithful adaptation that showed just how committed Kenner was to delivering authenticity through its product. It may not have been the biggest playset, but it was one of the funnest. Number 7, Land of Jawa's playset. Released in 1978, this playset is composed of a cardboard background of the Jawa Sandcrawler Fortress on top of a plastic hard base with foot pegs. The Sandcrawler comes equipped with an elevator that lets the user pretend to suck a captured droid up into the belly of the fortress for transport, a rotation stand that lets you move a character like a Jawa in a semicircle to knock over a foe. Finally, it provided an escape pod modeled after the one that C-3PO and R2-D2 commandeered to smuggle away the Death Star plans in the opening sequence of the original Star Wars film. This playset allowed the use of all your Tatooine-specific characters. Playability on this set was great, making it a necessary entry on this list. Number 6, Ewok Village. Released in 1983, this raised platform village came with a fire pit, a drum, a throne for C-3PO, a net, a swinging boulder for defense, an elevator, and an escape chute. If you were like me, you had all of the Ewoks Kenner released, and this gave us a place to put them. With all of the accessories provided, the Ewok Village gave us many, many hours of playability. Number 5, All-Terrain Armored Transport. These next 2 entries are going to cause some of you some issues because they are officially called vehicles. I know they're vehicles, but their sheer size, abundant features, and ability to give multiple play options also make them, in my mind, a playset. And the first of these entries is the All-Terrain Armored Transport, or AT-AT. This is definitely one of the coolest pieces made by Kenner, and a toy that separated the casual fan from the dedicated Padawan. The canopy lifted to allow 2 figures inside like an AT-AT driver or an AT-AT commander. The side door opened and you could have a platoon of snowtroopers waiting to rappel down to invade the rebel base. The head side guns rotated, the under chin guns lit up and moved, and there was a handle inside the body that allowed the head manipulation. The legs were fully articulated at the hips, the knees, and the ankles. In short, this thing was awesome. You could set up a battle with Luke in a snowspeeder. You could have it act as an Imperial base to the Rebels' Hoth headquarters. It could be paired with the Ewok Village or Endor bunker playsets to recreate the climactic battle that ended the trilogy. Once you had this toy in your arsenal, it was an everyday item of choice, no matter where your imagination was going to take you. Number 4, Millennium Falcon. The fastest ship in the galaxy, the Millennium Falcon is both a vehicle and a playset because you could do so much with it. A mere vehicle is just a toy you move around. The Falcon could be set up as part of the landscape and used like a traditional playset. No matter what film release version you got, there was a removable hull, retractable landing gear, a cockpit for two with a hatch, Jedi training ball, the Jarek chess table to sit Chewie and 3PO at, a rotating turret gun for Luke to sit at and fire on Imperial TIE fighters, and the smuggler's compartment to hide in when boarded by stormtroopers. Easily one of the most thought-through offerings by Kenner, knowing it would be as popular a toy as it was a piece of the film. You could park the Falcon next to any playset and enhance the action. Hoth, Bespin, the Death Star, the Mos Eisley Cantina. It didn't matter. The Falcon upped the playability options and excitement tenfold. No playset collection is complete without the Millennium Falcon. Number 3. Cantina Adventure Set, Sears exclusive. Released in 1978, one of the most iconic scenes from the original Star Wars film was the Mos Eisley Cantina. Kenner released 2 versions of this playset. The first was basic and was more 3-dimensional, but the one that everyone wants now is the Sears exclusive, which was a little more than a cardboard cutout with foot pegs, but what made the Cantina special are the figures it came with. Released in 1978, the Sears exclusive came with Greedo, Hammerhead, Walrus Man, and one of the holy grails of Star Wars collectors, the blue Snaggletooth, an accidental variant of the more common red Snaggletooth. Number 2. Droid Factory. Released in 1978, this was my favorite playset ever, and I mean that not just with Star Wars, but with any and all playsets of any intellectual property. I loved this playset. The Droid Factory was not something specifically from the movies, but what it was a toy designed to allow users to create their own droids and insert them into a storyline or create a whole new story. With a solid plastic base, a crane to pick up and move droid parts, and an astonishing 33 different droid pieces to cobble together, this playset offered maximum replayability and imagination release. If this was not enough, this playset allowed us to recreate a movie-accurate R2-D2, because one of the 33 pieces it came with was a middle third droid leg that could be inserted into your R2-D2 action figure to let him roll around like he does during the films. Having that as a Star Wars obsessed kid was something really special. Number 1, the Death Star. Even though the Droid Factory was my favorite, I have to admit that this was the granddaddy of all playsets. I was the only person I knew that actually had one, and it allowed me to recreate my favorite scene from the original movie, the trash compactor scene. This playset was big for its time, including 4 floors, a roof, a tractor beam outpost, a laser cannon, a retractable bridge for Luke and Leia to swing across on an included rope swing, a bright orange trash compactor with foam trash, and an action figure most collections do not include, a bright green rubber trash monster. This thing was awesome. On one level you could have Obi-Wan battling Darth Vader, on another you could have Luke and Leia swinging across the chasm, on another Han and Chewie fighting off stormtroopers, and on the bottom level you could work the trash compactor, squeezing the wall shut until it popped open a secret door, allowing for our heroes to escape. I cannot say I've seen many of these around over the past few years, but if you are lucky enough to find one in good condition, with all its parts included, consider yourself a very lucky fan. And that's the list. What do you think? Let me know in the comments what your favorite playset was. And if you like this video and you want more Star Wars goodness, check out my other video on the top 10 must-have vintage action figures right here. As well, like and subscribe, and until next time, from south of the border, I am the reluctant gringo. Salute and a huevo.